Hello students. In previous classes, we discussed about standard costing, its meaning, its various definitions, difference between standard costing and estimated costing, merits of standard costing, limitations of standard costing. Now in this class, I will be discussing system of standard costing. We will be discussing what are the preliminaries in establishing a system of standard costing. So, standard costing involves the following basic steps. Number one, establishment of cost centers, setting of standards, ascertainment of actual results, comparison of standard and actual cost to determine the variances, investigation of variances, reporting it to management, and taking appropriate action where necessary. Now, first, I will be discussing in detail what is establishment of cost centers. Cost center I have already discussed in the chapter of cost accounting. Again, I will be telling you what is cost center. Cost center is a location, a person, or item of equipment for which cost may be ascertained and used for the purposes of cost control. A control which is relates to person is referred to as personal cost center, and which relates to means types of cost centers also we discussed, which relates to location or equipment is an impersonal cost center. It is important in establishing cost centers that no doubt should be left as to the person who is responsible for each cost center. In many instances, departments or functions will form natural cost centers, but sometimes there may be two or more cost centers in a department. For example, there may be four machine groups in a manufacturing department, each of which may be classified as a cost center. Number two is second step is setting of standards. Now, this is the most important and difficult task in standard costing, that is setting of standards. The cost accountant, departmental heads, foremen, and technical experts, they all work together in setting standards. And care should be taken to make detailed study of the various functions in the organization. The fundamental principles of standard costing should be remembered when the standards are being set up. Standard costs are intended to represent the anticipated cost at a given level of output under an assumed set of circumstances. So, the standard should reflect the anticipated cost over an extended period, possibly. By this kind of pre-planned performance and management will be equipped with a program upon which a base operating policies both manufacturing and trading will be performed. So setting of standards is the second step. The third step is then the third step is ascertainment of actual results. But before that, I will be discussing about the types of standards. That there are two types of standards actually. One is basic standard and another is current standards. Now, what is basic? Basic standard are those which are established for an indefinite period of time. Such standards are established and operated without revision for a number of years. It is similar to an index number against which all later results are measured. Variances from basic standards reveals trend of deviations from the actual cost, but they don't have any practical utility, so we set generally current standards. Current standards are those which remain in operation for a limited period of time. These standards are related to current conditions and revised at regular intervals. So they are in practice actually. So there are three types of current standards: ideal standards, expected standards, and normal standards. Now, what are ideal standards? Ideal standards reflect a level of attainment under ideal conditions, such as maximum possible output and sales, best possible prices of material, most satisfactory rates of labor and overheads, etc. Such standards are based on perfect performance of man, material, and machines, and no allowances is made for loss of time, accident, machine breakdown, wastage of materials, etc. So, such standards are determined to set a goal with, though not attainable in practice, is always aimed at. It provides a target or incentive to employees, but the main drawback of such standards is that they show adverse variances as a performance feature which discourages the employees. Then there are expected standards. Such standards represent the highest state of efficiency which may be expected in actual conditions prevailing within a particular unit. So they are also not in. Then there are normal standards. They are based on average of past performance. The object of such standards may be eliminated the variances and all this. So such are possible under normal conditions. So these are the possible ways by which we can come to practice that we should set the normal standards in practice. Then after setting of standards, we come to another is uh, uh, ascertainment of actual results. Ascertainment of actual result is taken by the performance made by the that industrial unit. So we measured it that what is the performance uh, of that industrial unit, and then fourth step is we compare the standard and actual cost to determine the variance. Actual cost is in our records, that what we achieved actually is written, that what is the material cost, what is the labor cost, what are the overheads. This is all the actual cost that we have done by doing the actual work, and then what we do, we compare it with the standard that are set by us. Now types of standards we already discussed. Now we generally take into consideration the normal standards, and the success of standard costing depends on the reliability and accuracy of the standards. As such, extreme care must be taken in all factors have been considered in setting the standards. To achieve the objective, a standard committee comprising of representatives is made, and then various types of standards for direct materials, material price, material usage standards are set, material price standards are set, material usage quantity standards are developed from material specifications prepared by engineering departments or product design. A material specification is a list which shows the types and quality of material needed for the product. While setting this standard, normal laws and process be taken into consideration. Then standards are set for labor. the the for direct labor, the two standards are set, that are labor rate and labor time. Labor rate is on the basis of the rates given to the laborers, and the labor time, some standard time to be taken based on the best way of performing each job or operation by each grade of labor with the help of time and motion study be determined. Due allowance may be given for normal loss of time. Then there are fixed overheads variances. A cost which tends to be affected by variation of volume of output is called fixed overheads, and the two standards set for fixed overheads are expenditure and volume of output. Expenditure standard, then for variable overheads also standards are set. Expenditure standard, determination of budgeted expenditure for the period is necessary. Thus figure can easily be ascertained from the budgets when standard costing is employed in conjunction with the system of budgetary control. Then volume of production overhead standard, the budgeted output in units or expressed in terms of standard hours for should be production be determined. Then we come to variable overhead. A cost which tends to vary directly with the volume of output is called variable overhead. While fixing the standard variable overhead rate, it is assumed that variable overhead rate per unit is constant irrespective of the quantity produced. It is necessary to compute only a standard cost per unit or per hour. And then we compare the standard with the actual cost, and we determine the variances, and then we investigated the variances. If the variances are unfavorable, then we report to the management and take appropriate action wherever necessary. So this is how standard costing work, and the system of, we discussed here the system of standard costing. I hope you all understood. Thank you.